So do you know when an old friend comes round and you haven't seen them for a long time and they bring a new friend with them? Well, that old friend is Costa Rican Licho. The new friend is the Geisha. So did you hear what I just said in the intro? You've got a Geisha in my mug. A Geisha that costs probably 8-9 times more than the normal version of this coffee, and we're giving it you as a subscription. This is a real treat, and I really want you to understand that, like, I've been pushing and pushing and pushing for this to get everybody on board with it, and everybody has kind of lined up and gone, okay, we can do this one treat, but this is super special. You would not get this from another subscription at this price. You are being treated to something extremely special. Well, what is special about Geisha? So Geisha originates from, we believe, Ethiopia, and some seeds were taken to Panama. And these seeds were planted in Panama in the Buteke region. And around about 14, 15 years ago, a family called the Price Petersons found this coffee growing on their farm. And decided that this was extremely special and extremely unusual. So they sent it to auction, and it became, not this coffee, but the Panamanian coffee, became the most expensive coffee in the world. This started a clamour for coffee farmers all over the world to try and get some of this seed stock so they could then plant this Geisha and see how it grows. Now, what we've learnt over that past 15 years is Geisha doesn't necessarily grow everywhere well. Some places are just not suited to it. The yields are too low, and it is an incredibly low yielding plant. The quality is not what you get in this little microclimate of Buteke. But there are some places where this really works and has really been something that's kind of taken off. Now, not all Geisha is Geisha. Lots of seeds have been sold as Geisha seeds, but really aren't. We came across an example in Costa Rica on a neighbouring farm, actually, to Licho, where they'd got it and they'd realised it wasn't Geisha and they'd ripped it out and had to replant. It was basically a con. But how I found this one was I was visiting Licho, not last year, the year before, and I was walking around it, and I'm always eating the cherries as I go along, and I just picked a cherry off this one bush and I was just like, oh, wow. And I looked at the plant and the leaves are quite spread out, and the internodes, so on a branch, an internode is where a branch comes out, are quite spread, and they were pointing upwards. And I was like, that's Geisha. And I'd never heard that Licho had got Geisha, so I turned to one of the brothers and asked, I don't know what that was, I will find out at the end. I turned to one of the brothers and said, what is this plant? And his jaw hit the floor as well. He said, well, that's our Geisha. And I was like, you never told me you had Geisha. Oh, well, we didn't think you'd be interested. So I made them sell me some of this Geisha. It is a phenomenally tasting coffee, which we're going to find out in the tasting in a moment. And we're so lucky to be able to have it. And I'm so excited to be able to share it with you. Someone who I'm not excited to share with you is Roland, and it's time for his Daft Fact of the Week. So here we find Roland hard at work. Let's see if we can get a Daft Fact out of him. Roland! Daft Fact.
Did you know that Costa Rica's first football team started in 1887 and used a regulation football ball imported from England?
I did know that. So this week's Instagrammer of the week comes from Tak in Manchester, one of our really good friends in Manchester, cafe bar in the Northern Quarter. You should definitely pop along and see them if you're up Dale Street way. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you to Tak for that. If you want to be heaped with praise and love next week on In My Mug, then please do hashtag your Instagrams with either has been or in my mug, and we will do our very best to get you on. Please do keep those coming. They do make me smile and make my day. So speaking of making my day, I shall be drinking some Geisha right now. I still can't believe I've been giving you Geisha on In My Mug. You are very, very lucky people. And it is very classic Geisha. It's incredibly floral, has a hint of lemon to it. It's got like a sugary sweetness in there as well. A little bit of plum on the aftertaste, a little bit of apricot. Super, super like deep and complex and interesting coffee, while still being light and not too heavy and not all about the processing. This is very much about what the coffee bean itself is, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. I would love to hear from you if you've been enjoying the game. I'd love to hear if you're not enjoying it, and I'd be kind of take you to some doctor to make sure you're not ill. But please do check that you are not ill. What the hell was that? I've no idea. Yeah. But please do come back and let us know your thoughts on it. Everything would be lovely if you could share that. One thing I'm going to share with you is life is too short for bad coffee. Okay, so this week's coffee... Oh, no. Well, this time we have Costa Rican Licho. Geisha, anyone?